$75 is way too much for a Manny Petty.
I
And
know,
it wasn't even for the Petty.
I know the majority of people are so sick of hearing this name, but I have to admit, now that we're a couple days removed, aren't we kind of glad that the whole Trey Lance thing is in Dallas right now in terms of just taking up all the oxygen in the room? It is nice to be able, we're going to have this nice weekend. We're going to be able to come back, and everything's going to be about, obviously, we'll see what happens with Bosa, but everything's going to be about, like, this year, this team winning it all.
Should have been like that, though. Shouldn't have.
I know it should have. It should have.
I mean, this team's loaded. Look, people are well off in San Ramon. The text line knows, man. They knows. They know. They know. No, to your point, seeing Trey Lance in Dallas with a Dallas Cowboys hat, it's kind of strange. It was strange.
I just feel like the whole Trey Lance thing, we can argue about, if it was the right trade, if it was the wrong prospect, if the process was wrong, all that stuff. I'm just looking at how much airtime this guy's been getting from the media and how it's affecting the Dallas Cowboys already, where like Dak Prescott is having to answer questions about QB3. And Dak Prescott is much more established than someone like Brock Purdy. I mean, his place is solidified on that team.
That's the Dallas Cowboys, though. They're always in the news.
No, I know, but
they lead every show in America.
I mean, Bonte, you and I do this for a living, and we're sitting here. How many times do we get phone calls, text messages out of the blue? We're talking about Brock Purdy, and we're in a Brock Purdy conversation. What about Trey?
What about Trey? What about Trey? What about Trey? I'm kind of glad it's over, too. I'm not going to lie, for the young man. And I do want to focus on this team. Because is it just me? Or does it feel like there's a lot of tension before the season with this organization and this fan base?
I said, I get them, and people were getting mad at me. I'm like, look, there are too many random negatives hovering over this team, and I'm not. It's not as severe as this, but I get 2014 vibes from the Niners.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that 2014, the Niners, what were they? 8-4, 8-5? What were they? 7-4?
Yeah, 7-4.
Okay. But at the beginning of the year, there was all this like, hey, we've gotten to the mountaintop, and we just need to slightly get over it. Alex Boone holds out. There's rumors from Jay Glazer, I believe, week 1, that the Niners tried to trade Harbaugh to the Cleveland Browns. There were rumors of his frustration not getting an extension. The locker room was, quote-unquote, toxic. I mean, I'm just looking at this year, and there's just too many random things hovering over a team that should be gearing itself up for a Super Bowl run. It doesn't mean they can't overcome it. It's just from a fan perspective, I haven't been able to focus on all the positives. You keep bringing up, what about this offense? What about this offense? And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. But then I'm like, well, then why did the coach make such a big deal about QB2 all year? And shouldn't I worry about QB1 maybe underperforming or getting hurt?
Well, QB2, or we thought QB2, was the former number 3 overall draft pick. And heck, QB2 is now a former number 3 overall draft pick. So when you have picks that high, you're going to focus on it, knowing that Trey Lance was your hand-selected guy, a guy where you moved 3 picks for. Right? You moved up for Trey Lance, or you moved up for the pick and you selected Trey Lance and you misdiagnosed the whole situation. So that's why it's going to be talked about a lot. Bosa not being in camp, okay, that's a talking point. It kind of takes some of the heat off of Javon Hargrave, takes some of the heat off of Javon Kinlaw. Does Fred Warner sell? Does linebacker talk sell? Hufanga's coming back, but you know what? Hufanga's got this knee injury that I don't think we're talking about enough. Maybe we're going to see Jair Brown a lot more early on in the season, because this knee injury for Hufanga doesn't sound like it's going to heal anytime soon. He may be compromised this season.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
I mean, this guy was a ball-hawking player who created turnovers for you. What do you have, 6-7 interceptions last year?
7 interceptions, it felt like.
I mean, he was outstanding for you.
All-pro team. He was an all-pro.
And now you're going to put maybe, a rookie in his spot?
Jair Brown.
That's Bonte. You're going to have some growing pains.
You will have some growing pains, like you had with Hufanga when he was a rookie. He had some growing pains. Remember the Cincinnati game, overtime, regular season? He got beat for a touchdown. Jamar Chase. Heck, Hufanga got beat for some touchdowns last year. But you know what? Jair Brown, I think, if there's an easier transition in the NFL, we have seen rookie safeties play well.
Okay.
Eric Reed, heck, when the Niners drafted him, people forget Eric Reed had a really good year. We talked about Juan Thornhill, Honey Badger. There's safeties who can make that transition into the NFL. Now, they're going to get beat here and there, but for the most part, that's a position to where you can maybe hide a guy and just keep it simple for him. Play the deep third, play the deep routes, or play in the box or whatnot. So, but the Hufanga injury, because he is a ball hawk, that's something to keep your eye on.
Well, the big one is Bosa. Right? And I know that there's a Reddit post that people have been screenshotting, circulating all around the internet. And for those that maybe haven't seen it on the internet, it's a Reddit post. We don't even know if it's real. We don't even know if this person is full of crap, if they're right, wrong. I don't know. There's a horrible rumor going on, and I feel awkward even addressing it, but I see a lot of people forwarding it around, and it basically says, like, hey, I'm the person, this is what the Reddit user wrote on some chat, hey, I'm the person who broke the Christian McCaffrey trade. I hear that the Niners and Nick Bosa are very far apart, and they're shopping him right now. I'm not going to overreact to a Reddit post that we don't even know if it's a real user or not. I mean, come on. But the fact that he's not here, the fact that he doesn't have a contract extension, the fact that we're, 11 days away from the regular season starting, that's not great. You know, I would have liked to have had Nick Bosa already locked and loaded and ready to go.
Well,
I think the real panic will set in if we come back Tuesday morning from Labor Day weekend and he's still not signed. Yeah, I'm going to be very panicky.
Well, Benjamin Albright, our good buddy Ben.
Tapped in.
He tweeted in response to that Reddit post. No. The Niners have fifth-year option and franchise tag. Whoever that is yanking your chain. They didn't break the McCaffrey trade either. It's been posted about for weeks. Hell, I had it 2 weeks out. So that's Benjamin Albright debunking that Reddit post from yesterday.
I think he's pretty tapped in. Doesn't mean he can't be, wrong on something like this. I tend to agree with someone like him because he puts his name on everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. The Twitter. I mean, look, if Bosa gets traded, then we got something else to talk about. But I don't think the Niners are getting this close to the season opener, saying, "Boy, we're going to trade Nick Bosa for all these picks," and then on the other side, preach about being a Super Bowl contender. You can't be a Super Bowl contender by trading Nick Bosa. Not this year.
I'm going to be honest. Like, based on the reaction of the fans yesterday, and it's a small sample, it's a couple hundred fans. Trading Nick Bosa in terms of PR hits,
would be devastating.
I mean, Buckner was a bad PR hit, if we're being real, right?
Wow, Desmond King just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cornerback got cut by the Texans.
I kind of wanted him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, he is. Darn it.
Player.
But, if they did, hypothetically, and even if it came out, let's just say, hey, Bosa wanted $42 million a year, some absurd number that we would all agree is way over the top. I just think the majority of fans would look at it as, you traded away Nick Bosa? Yeah. I think it would be and the part that would be very difficult to swallow, you traded away Nick Bosa, and what you received back, even if it was a massive haul, wouldn't be able to help you until the offseason.
Yeah, it wouldn't help you until next season.
Yeah.
And then Niner fans will go back to say, well, we've had plenty of first-round picks before. How's that worked out for us?
That's a good point.
It's a good talking point for Shanahan and Litch. So I don't see the Niners. I don't anticipate them trading Nick Bosa. Again, I believe it's going to get done at the end of this week. And if it doesn't, I believe he will be ready for week 1 Pittsburgh. I'm not wavering off of that one. How far are they apart? I don't know if they're apart on the guaranteed money. I don't know if they're apart on some of the nuances of the contract, like performance bonuses, showing up to mini camps, OTAs, all pro sack totals, tackles. What team are you making, first or second team? Are you making the Pro Bowl? There's all these little nuances that go into these contracts that I don't know where they're far apart with, but it does feel like they are trying to talk. And the fact is, it's been private. I respect the fact that they haven't negotiated in public, because that could get messy. Like the Deebo situation got a little hairy, right?
I thought Deebo was acting slightly unprofessional.
I saw somebody comment yesterday, said, boy, y'all had different energy with Deebo Samuel. Well, Deebo was scrubbing his social media, screwing, hell no, I'm out. I'm not Team Niners.
He told a reporter that he wanted out. Remember, I wanted to trade.
I wanted to go to the Jets. They were talking about the Jets.
And then tried to rescind it and was tweeting about it. I mean, there was a lot more.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Bosa's remained quiet.
Yes.
He's got one post in New York City to go visit his agent.
Can I ask you a question? If, hypothetically, I'm not saying that. You're saying, hey, they've got him under contract, which they do. They've got the franchise tag, which they do. All of those are benefits in terms of the team. Most situations, if you hold out, you lose leverage.
No doubt.
Right? Public opinion. And let's say you're a running back, Le'Veon Bell. You don't sign that franchise tenure. Everyone's like, dog, you're 26. Like you only have a couple more years left in the league, let alone being able to sit here. Bosa's one of the rare players you could make an argument he could sit out the whole year, and I still think he'd get $100 million. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think Bosa wants to.
But I don't think he
wants.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he could.
That messes with career numbers. You get a year older. You're sitting around, not doing anything. I don't think the Bosas are in business to not play football.
I mean, Trent Williams didn't play football because of a
tumor.
Yes, a brain thing that he was going through, a surgery and stuff, and he came back better than ever. I'm just saying, hypothetically, he is one of the rare players that could play that game. I think he loves football more than that.
Yeah, I don't see him playing that game. So Benjamin Albright debunked that narrative there, or the Reddit post. Now we'll see if the Reddit post is right. We'll see if the Reddit post is correct, but I saw it floating around as well. I didn't address it. I'm not going to address anything. I'm not in that game yet. So I see Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, one of these guys break it, said, hey, Bosa signed or he wants to trade. Then you know what? He wants to trade now. But I don't see the Niners doing that because that's not going to help them this season. You trade Nick Bosa now, you get those picks for next year, but the PR hit, now you're asking Cleveland Farrell to start for you alongside Drake Jackson. These guys never played multiple snaps, like full games. Now all of a sudden your D-line depth is depleted. You're talking about the best pass rusher in football. You want to trade him? You're not in a situation like the Raiders. You're not when they traded Khalil Mack. You're not the Raiders. You got money. The Niners have money. They're not broke boys. They've proven that. So I think just patience, and this deal will get done. I'm not worried yet about Nick Bosa here, but I understand why the fans will be concerned. I'm not going to sit here and knock it for that.